one person who knows so much more about this case than I do. It's Steve Wagstaffe. He is the San Mateo County District Attorney. District Attorney, thank you so much for being on the program. I'm so honored that you would join us. Start with the most important question, if you can, and tell me how the kids are.
That's a great question. And the answer is they're doing very well. It's shocking, as you noted, Ashleigh, that anybody survived. But even more shocking is for the two children who were in safety seats. A reminder to parents, always be in safety seats. One of the children wasn't harmed at all physically. Obviously, there's mental trauma. And the other child had just a small broken bone, which is healed. So the children have done very well. And again, that's a remarkable thing.
It's just astounding when you see that wreckage that anybody could have survived it, let alone, be unharmed completely. The harm, of course, will be profound mentally for these children. I'm sure that they'll have a memory of some kind. Talk to me a little bit about Dr. Patel and what in the search warrant affidavit that he made all sorts of statements about having tire problems. Why did that not square?
Well, he did say to law enforcement initially there that he was concerned about the tire pressure in the vehicle. And that's why he was looking to pull over. That's his statement. And as you said, Ashleigh, that doesn't fit with the description that we have from the video that was taken. It's a traffic camera that sits on that tunnel, as you noted. And I've watched it multiple times, and it just doesn't square at all, because as it goes up there, if one is having trouble with their tires, one would slowly move to the side of the road. Anybody would, if they wanted to check if they were worried about their tires. That's not what occurred here. Vehicle travels up the hill, gets near the top, makes a 45-degree right turn onto a dirt area, and then almost immediately, very shortly, makes another right turn, 45 degrees, and that's over the cliff and down 250 feet. It didn't look like what you or I or any other reasonable person would be doing if all they want to do is pull over and check their tire pressure.
Is that video so clear and convincing and definitive that there's just no way a jury could look at it and believe anything other than an intentional act?
Well, that's certainly my view, and I think that's the view of my office and the law enforcement, that it is very clear. But that's what jury trials are about, where good defense attorneys, and this Dr. Patel as a good defense attorney, will put another description of it as to what's going on there and what happened. But we're still waiting on one very significant piece of evidence. In this case, the California Highway Patrol has a team called the MATE team, Major Accident Investigation Team. They are the best, certainly they do it for all of California. Normally, they only get involved in death cases where somebody has died. On this one here, they agreed to become involved and do their expertise, and they do an A to Z looking at a vehicle. They work with Tesla in this case. Their report's not done yet. We're hopeful we'll have it in the next month. That's a crucial piece of evidence to show. It will show, as you know about Teslas, they have computers in there that will tell so much about a vehicle. And we're looking forward to getting that report as significant evidence as to just how were the tires doing and anything else that might have been awry with that vehicle. If there's nothing awry mechanically with that vehicle, that's excellent evidence for the prosecution case.
Well, I can't wait for that forensic report, the vehicle forensic report, because I've covered cases with beaters that have really good, in-vehicle information as to when the brakes were hit, et cetera. So a Tesla is a very advanced vehicle, and it should yield a lot of the story. The wife, straighten this out for me. The way I hear it and see it, the lawyers involved in the case are saying that she is no longer interested in speaking to investigators and that she doesn't want her husband prosecuted. I get it. I've seen a lot of this. However, sir, I've also seen that it does not matter. If you have clear and convincing evidence, it does not matter if she is one of the witnesses, because there's plenty more where that came from.
Ashleigh, you speak total accuracy in the statement. I just think of our domestic violence cases in general, and probably 75 to 80% of them, the victim, usually it's the wife, but the victim will recant, not want it to go forward because they're trying to figure out, how do I live life without it? It's completely understandable. It's part of the cycle of violence. This is a domestic violence case, and I view that in the same category. And as you noted, I mean, I hope she cooperates. I hope she realizes that there is a duty to her children and to herself, that there be accountability for actions taken against her. But if she chooses not to, it's as you said, that alone does not end the case. The victim doesn't get the choice. The prosecution brings these charges. And the other side of the coin is we have her original statement said right at the time before any motive would have hit her head to change the statement. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful she'll want to cooperate when this case ultimately goes to court.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.